Hey everyone, so today what we are going to be making is a silicone bead keychain wristlet. So we are going to work on creating a product that's going to end up looking something like this. The main pieces that you're going to use are these silicone based beads. You had the option of choosing a focal bead if you wanted to, so we had a few of those. And then also you'll have a keychain piece that includes a tassel. So when you get your kit, you told us what is your focal color bead, and then we supplied a couple additional colors in there as well for you. So we're going to show you how to put those together. In your kit should include the beads in your focal color and then some additional side colors, sports beads, focal beads, and glow in the dark if you chose to do so. Additionally, you're going to have some elastic cord. There is approximately 20 inches of this cord. This is what you're going to be using to thread your beads through. You're going to have your clasp, your O-ring, and you are also going to have your little tassel. These are going to be the pieces that will hold your keys. We will put them together in a second. You are also going to have some varieties of circle beads. You're going to have some flat beads, and then you're also going to have some hexagon beads there as well. So variety of them to choose from. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I want you to do is, when making your wristlet is going to be in a circle. So we want to figure out what is the color order that we want to put our keychain. So there's a variety of things. You can look some ideas up on YouTube if you want to, or Google to get some ideas. This one has just kind of a variety. You can see more like 2 pinks, a black, a tan, a pink, a tan, 2 pinks, blacks. So you can see that it kind of just varies and there's really no rhyme or reason to it. So you're going to figure out what is going to be your highlight, or how are you going to lay them out. So get an idea first, play around with them and see, is there anything that you would like to do with your beads. And so for this one, because we did pick some colors that had been gone through, I do have some additionals. So I have just a few extra like flat beads and whatnot. So this might be the piece that takes you the longest when you go through them. So just kind of get some ideas, play around with it, figure out maybe what is an order that you want to do. So I'm going to play around and get my order done, and then we'll pick back up from there. Okay, so I kind of got an idea of how I wanted to do it. So you can see I have all my beads laid out. It is completely fine to go through and adjust your design. I want things to be a little more symmetrical, so that's kind of why I have patterns going around. But looking at it, it feels like some things need to be changed. So I'm going to go ahead and alter. I also see that I have pattern of red, then brown, then white, and I'm going to go ahead and move those because I have 2 flat beads over here and 2 flat beads over here, and I have a round and a hexagon over here, so I'm going to move them across from each other. And then I also have a round, flat, and hexagon here. I think what I am going to do is go ahead and alter how I do these. I might move this one out just to see how it looks. Make it a little closer there. And now I have 2 with each. And I might just flip this around. Just kind of playing with it. So you can kind of play around with it however you want to. This is just how my piece is going to come out. So I'm going to go ahead and just move these. I'm going to kind of keep it in a line. I'm going to move them up to the top here. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing we're going to show you is how to do your, if I don't get that little baby, how to attach your tassel piece. So you're going to notice with the ring here that there is different little pieces that zigzag in and out. The easiest way to do this is that you have to spread one side of them there, and this is going to be where you thread on your pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ring and put my clasp on there. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can see now how I got that through there, and I'm just going to thread that on. Perfect. So now I have my clasp and my ring together. I'm going to do the same thing with my tassel, except I'm going to thread through this little circular piece at the top. So I'm going to spread out that piece, and it doesn't matter which side you do because they'll all end up in the center. I'm going to put that through that way and thread that through, because now we're there and it's closed back up. So now my tassel and my clasp are all together on one piece. So now that we have this piece done, we're going to go ahead and work on threading our pieces through. So this is going to be just like threading beads on a necklace. You're going to take one end and you are going to thread through all of your beads. Make sure they don't come off the other end, and when you're done, you should have one singular line of beads. All right, so now that we have our beads on our string, you can go ahead and wrap them in a circle. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get the pre of a knot started so that I can kind of see how my bracelet is going, or wristlet is going to look. Another thing I would do is go ahead and just kind of view your bracelet. Is there anything you want to change or alter? So in my mind, one thing that I see that I'm not a huge fan of is having 3 of these in a row, and I have them on here twice. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and maybe flip some around and maybe include a hexagon bead in there just to kind of give it some extra pieces, and then kind of work my way. I'm kind of limited on beads, so trying to figure out what I want to do. So that'll be my next thing. I'm just going to go ahead and unthread that. It's easy on this end because it won't take as long. So when you are doing these projects, think about how you're focusing through the design process. If you are entering this into fair and using one of the, ooh, that was not a smart idea. I unthreaded them from both sides. If you are doing the Beyond the Needle, one of your data tags is going to ask about design decisions that you made, things like your color and those types of things. So in this case, your colors were selected for you, but ways that we had determined color choices were based on the color wheels. So if you have your color wheel, they go in orders of our primaries, red, yellow, and blue, and in between each of them is the secondary that they make. So essentially around the wheel, it's going to go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. There is such a thing called complementary colors, and those colors are ones that are across the wheel from each other. So things like red and green, they're directly across from each other. And so those ones we know go well together. Also orange and blue and green and purple. So there's a couple of different things that we thought through, talking about shades of colors, the complementary color themselves. So those are all things that we were going through when we were trying to pick out your colors and trying to also match them with some of your projects, your focal beads, your glow-in-the-darks, things like that. So hopefully you're enjoying the colors you have. Okay, so now I have my bracelet and it looks a little like this. I'm a little more happy with it than I was before. I know I have a couple of clusters down here of these hexagon beads, but I know that they're kind of working together on these sides. So I like this the way it is. One thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you put this, your keychain on. And so this will slide right over the beads. So all you have to do is slip it through and kind of attach it somewhere towards the middle, like so. So now we have our keychain, and the last thing we have to do is go ahead and tie it up. So now we're going to go ahead and get started tying our knots. We're going to do a surgeon knot so it stays nice and tight. So what I am doing is just making sure all of my beads are tight against each other, but there's not really a lot of room. You don't want to make it too loose because then you're going to see your cords through. And if you're looking at my finished one, yeah, you can see the cords in a couple of places, but we don't really want it to be out there too much. So, all right, so for our surgeon's knot, we're going to take and we are going to wrap our cord around, not once, like this would be our normal when we tie it tight, but we are going to wrap it around twice. So now you can see, oops, excuse me, I bumped my stand here, that we have what looks like 4 loops. And so we're going to tie that really tight. I'm pulling pretty tight. You can see how small it is. This might be where you might need someone to use their fingers. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to do just an additional knot on top. And so I'm still trying to hold really tight there, but I'm going to go ahead and tie like that. So now you're going to notice that obviously you're going to have a little bit of a gap. And so what we're going to do is we are going to trim these ends with a pair of scissors. So I want to leave them a little bit longer. So I've trimmed them back, and now I'm going to take them and I'm going to take my end, and I can use like a toothpick or some other items to help thread back through. So you want to help hide this about as much as you can. You're going to see it maybe doesn't want to go back through super easily. But I'm going to go backwards through my beads until I get this piece strung all the way through. So you just kind of want to hide it. And that's not going to go until I have a little piece here. I'm going to undo a paper clip. And I'm just going to push that through. Like I said, you can use a toothpick, anything you have around the house to help kind of just push as you go. It's coming out the ends here. Really, really close. There we go. Okay, so now we have our end. It came out one. I'm going to go through at least a couple of them here, and I think if I am fortunate enough, it's going to go halfway through the red bead. And so then if these ever come undone, you have your ability to get them hidden again. And you left yourself enough tail that if you have to, you can always retie it. And I'm getting my end frayed a little bit here. If you want to, you can always use like a lighter to help seal the ends, but make sure you ask a parent to help with that piece. And there it is. And like I said, I'll go back through one more over here. You would do the same on the other side. That's going to help hide your knot. And then you have your finished product keychain. Now remember, if you're going to enter in fair, you do need to have the Beyond the Needle data tag that goes with it. If you do not enter that in there, you will be dropped a placing or an opportunity to drop a placing. So make sure that you are entering all of those items. See, just a nice little elastic wristband that you can carry all of your keys on. So have fun. If you have any additional questions on how to make any of these steps, please go ahead and give us a call at the extension office or shoot us an email and we'd be happy to help you. So happy making, everyone.